Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, everybody, and get settled. I do apologize for being a little bit late. We were having some tech issues. I'm learning all of this, and Kurt is being incredibly patient and wonderful. But I wanted to bring Kurt in so everybody gets settled. And just let me know that you can hear me. So say hi, let me know how your weather is. It's a little chilly here in New York, but not too bad. Now, Kurt, where are you?
I'm in Monument, Colorado. It's a little bit
Fantastic.
north.
Oh, good. So like we're about 40 degrees here. And I'm going to introduce Kurt so that everybody knows who Kurt is. But come on in. This is my friend. Kurt Frankenberg. And I invited Kurt in because there's been an enormous amount of talk for eBay sellers about Google search. You know, how do I write my listings that I get found by Google? And then when I'm doing social media on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Pinterest, you know, how do I do my social media in a way that I'm going to get found by Google search? Yes, there's Yahoo. Yes, there's Bing. But really the big search for everybody is Google. And that's what's so important to get found by, because what that's going to do is it's going to bring you traffic. And oftentimes it can be traffic that you get for free, which is fantastic. So I'm going to let Kurt introduce himself. He's going to explain his background and how he comes to know so much about Google. And then we're going to get right into it and give you tangible tips to use for your listings, for your social media, to get found by Google search. So you get more traffic and more sales, right? So Kurt, take it away. What's your background? How do you know so much about Google?
Well, I don't know if I really know that much about Google. I just seem to follow my nose and have been able to do a few things that have worked.
Good.
Yeah.
Work is good. So, and that's another thing is it's not just necessarily are the things that you're doing getting results? And you've got some tangible results with what you've been doing for Google. So tell us about that and tell your background, Kurt.
Okay, very good. So background, I'm a martial arts instructor. I started my studio in 1986. Coming up to a third of 100 years with my business. And I also have a service business, a come to you type of a thing. So brick and mortar and a come to you type of service. And there is overlap. You know, I don't necessarily retail to customers online. I either go to them or they come to my studio. But as far as getting found, that's the deal. Directories have been around for hundreds of years, like literal hundreds of years. There's collector's items, which are business directories from London from 200 years ago. And essentially, we're doing the same thing now. Google is a directory. It just happens to be a different medium. It's
like the Yellow Pages. I remember as a kid, right, all the businesses would have ads in Yellow Pages. And we were talking about this. So for your martial arts studio, which is a local business, and that's why I brought Kurt in to speak to us about search, because so many times as sellers, we sort of hear the same people all the time. And so I really make an effort to bring people to you that you may not have heard at an eBay conference or an e-com conference that have great information, get us thinking in just a little bit of a different way. So Kurt, for your martial arts business, so what you were after was how more traffic so that when people in your area and your local business were searching for classes for their kids, and you're primarily, your ideal customer would be the parent. Is that correct? So it's the parent buying it for the kid?
Yeah, very often it's mom. In fact, it's almost always mom. So I figured out that I needed to think like a mom rather than think about a knuckle dragon, martial arts guy. So, no mother of a 6-year-old searches for my martial arts style.
What is the name of your style, by the way?
The style that I practice is called Kaju Kenbo.
Okay.
Yeah, and almost nobody has heard of it.
And you're right, they're definitely
yeah.
right.
So they're not going to go to Google and say, "Hey, Kaju Kembo class is near me." That's not going to happen. Also, nobody has heard of the Freedom School of Martial Arts. I mean, even though I've been in business 33 years,
Wow.
even though I've trained thousands of people and hundreds of black belts, it's been, it's still a relatively little fish, right?
So
Most people don't know.
your goal, just let me jump in here for a second. So for your goal was, I'm a good businessman. I have great skills. I'm training people. I have tangible results. So you're not a brand new business.
Right.
But what I want to do is reach moms. So it's
Mhm.
like, who your customer is. And that was the first point I wanted to make is
Yes.
who's looking for what you sell. And
Yes.
as eBay sellers, predominantly the people that follow me are eBay sellers. I do have some Etsy, some Poshmark, some Amazon. So
Okay.
you think about who's buying my product. Like you said, Kurt, is it the mom? Is it the dad? Is it the grandma? Is it the grandfather? It could be a mix, but who's your number one customer? Now, you knew it was your mom's.
Yes.
You knew that your martial arts is very specific, and it'd be unlikely they'd be searching, like for us as sellers, that keyword. They would unlikely be using that specific a keyword. They'd be using a general keyword. And what did you discover? Like, how did you find out what keywords or what words your customers, your moms, would be searching for on Google, on Facebook, on Twitter? How did you learn what terms they would be using?
Well, at first I tried, there's a whole industry built around this. Okay. And at first I tried platforms and tools and services that all cost. Most of them cost. Some of them are free. But like a Google, what do you call it? A keyword suggestion tool.
Keyword planners, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
There's lots of those.
Yeah. And the thing is, they may have some value, but they still are basically a computer trying to think like a human.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot better, easier, and cheaper to go to humans.
So what did you do?
I took 3 of my best moms, and what I mean by best moms is these are my dream clients. Okay, these are mothers that rave about my classes, that always put reviews in whatever I ask them to do. They refer students. They make suggestions, but they don't tell me how to run my business. They always pay on time. Okay, so those are my client crush. And so I called and I took 3 of them to lunch. I said, look, can we get together for coffee or lunch, and can we go through this survey? And at first, that was a little bit, they're like, really? You want to? Okay, sure. But once we got started, they just basically gushed information. One question that I asked was, pretend that you don't know me and you don't know the name of my studio. What do you look for when you want an activity for your child that does what Kaju Kembo does? And I found out that the best keyword was karate for kids.
That's great.
Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't know that until I did, right? Another thing is the fact that mine is a faith-based program, so it'll be Christian karate or karate without Eastern religion, right? So, I mean, it's very specific.
There are people that specifically look for that. So what I'm thinking is, because again, my gang's the online sellers. One is I do have people that sell a variety. So I'm thinking for my variety sellers, very much if you think about it, Kurt, like a Macy's, they're selling men's clothing, women's clothing, kids' clothing, sporting goods, collectibles, is I would go down by category. So for instance, and I would pick your number one category, whatever brings you the most money.
Yep.
Or you're selling the most items.
80-20 rule.
Your way down, because otherwise you could, have your whole life consumed by this. So pick your number one category. think who's my ideal customer, like you with your moms. So it's the karate moms is my ideal customer.
Yes.
For me, it might be women in their 20s, women in their 30s, that have an active social life. They go out a lot, so they like to have a lot of different outfits, a lot of different clothes, fashionistas. And then because we're online, what I was thinking, Kurt, like for me, I do a lot of women's party dresses, but
Yes.
more formal dresses, the kind of thing that you would wear as a wedding guest,
Okay.
a prom dress, variety
Right.
of styles. So some of my items are more modest because there's people that prefer to cover up a little bit. And then some are a little sexier, more like a date night, sort of hot date kind of thing. Is then find people either within your realm. We were talking about this, if we're on Facebook, so you could go through your Facebook friends and go, okay, who are my Facebook friends that are single females like you? Who of my friends have kids that are in like the 6 to 10-year-old, 6 to 12-year-old range? And if I don't have any friends like that, I could maybe ping some of my friends and say, listen, I'm looking for mom 6 to 8 that are looking for sports activities for their kids. Do you have somebody that I could grab for maybe 5 minutes, either on Facebook or email or on whatever's comfortable for them? And just to ask them a couple questions like, if you were Google searching for a sports activity for your kids, or looking for a party dress, or you're looking for a collectible or a birthday present for a 10-year-old, what kind of things would you be looking for? And then write it down.
Right. Yep.
We were talking about think like a buyer, because
Right.
those are your keywords. You can even, because we've got our phones all have cameras in them. I mean, you can even FaceTime and go, look at this item. How would you describe this? Really, why not, right? I could call you up and say, Kurt, look at this men's shirt. How would you describe this? Polo shirt. Is this what would you call it? A Henley, a button? What, in your terms, would you call it a shirt, a t-shirt, a polo? Kurt, what colors do you like? Like, you're an active guy. So it'd be like, okay, Kurt, as an active guy, because I want to source some men's sports shirts, what kind of stuff do you look for? Do you care about fabric content? What brands are you looking for? And then find out. Right? And then when I'm posting on Facebook, I'm posting in social media, I think, and that's the other thing is, think about who you're related to. So like with the Karate for Kids, it's not to the kids, it's to the parents.
Yep. Yeah. The parents are the ones that are driving it. And what I like to do after identifying my ideal clients is I like to spy on them a little bit, and nothing that's nothing NSA related here,
right?
But they've put their information out there. So I found out that in my local area,
okay,
the 3 women that I interviewed, all of them belong to the same local Facebook groups. There's a lot of overlap there. So guess what? Now I'm gonna join the Facebook group and see what gets posted there.
That's a great point. So particularly, I was thinking for my collectible sellers, if I sell a specific genre, let's say mid-century modern, or let's say I sell a lot of 80s, there are such an abundance of Facebook groups now. There's all the mommy groups. If you sell any kind of product that appeals to moms, younger moms, older moms, toddler moms, pre-K moms, junior high moms, high school moms that are, their kids are graduating. So you've got proms and graduations. There's a Facebook group for every kind of need you can possibly think of. And for the collectors, because you may sell video games, the vintage video games, you may sell mid-century modern, 60s, pop, all of that stuff. And there's groups, and they're not sellers, they're collectors. Yes. And they put up their pictures of I'm in this mid-century modern group, and they take pictures of their favorite furniture, their favorite glass, to show off for each other, to go, oh, look what I just found, or oh, I just found the perfect bookcase to show off my collection. And then everybody oohs and ahs, and then you, as a seller of mid-century modern, you find out what appeals to these people. They love
Right.
green, they don't love the blue. They love the pink, they don't care for the clear. So you know which ones are going to bring you more money.
Yes, there's a wealth of intel in a Facebook profile. You can see
Yes.
what kinds of products they review.
Yep.
You can look at what kinds of things they share. You know what
Yes.
kinds of things they want to show them. You know, show themselves wearing or
What
buying.
movies they're going to. I see that a lot in my
Yes.
feed. I'll see what my nieces are up to and my cousins. I mean, people, there's a lot of information on Facebook. That's so true. Now, Kurt, you've got some tips for people as far as how to rank in Google. And where can I find those tips?
Well, you know, I could give you a link, and I think you're going to give a link, right?
So when
Yeah.
we're done with the live
Yeah.
video, I'm going to put up the link for Kurt's thing. But tell me what kind of tips you have in there. Can you give me a
Well,
sneak peek?
yeah, I can do that. So first of all, I could give you the link, but it'd be
Okay.
more impressive if you just search.
Okay.
So, so my claim to fame is that I help people get a free front page listing on
Great.
Google. So just Google that, say free front page listing, and the first thing that you should see it will be just right above Neil Patel and some other no names, you know. The first thing that you should see is an article from shoestring101.com,
Okay.
which is my
Is that you, your
blog.
Shoestring 101?
That's me. Yep.
Okay.
I'm the owner and the author. And there will be 7 hacks. And when I say, yeah, 7 hacks. And when I say hacks, I don't mean that we're doing this for harm, right?
Right.
And I also don't mean that it's super technical and brainy.
Right.
Yeah, these are hacks about how the human mind works. You know, for example, uh, with my martial arts studio, I've got a Facebook page that's called the Freedom School of Martial Arts. But no mom of a 6-year-old searches for the Freedom School of Martial Arts. So I have another page that's called my keyword plus the area, right?
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
karate
so
for kids.
smart.
Thank you. Karate for Kids in Monument, Colorado is a Facebook page. It's also the title of a YouTube video.
Smart.
It's also the name of some images that are out there floating in the cytosphere, because you can take your photos and instead of, you know, you take a picture and then it's called 00112.jpg, you can get it on your computer and rename it. And it's not
Now,
very
just to let
technical.
you know, that doesn't work on eBay because eBay strips any photo tags you put on your pictures and they put your ID number. But for instance, if you were a blogger, so let's say you're blogging connected to your eBay or Etsy or Poshmark listings, then it would. But eBay does strip it. I'm not sure what Etsy does, but I love that, which is to take those keywords that you use. I'm thinking particularly for my sellers that are selling in very niche categories like
Right.
mid-century modern. I have one friend that watches my videos who sells hubcaps, is that then to use those terms on your Facebook business page, to use those terms on your social media postings, on your YouTubes, because he does have a YouTube channel. So then you're getting picked up by search, but that's great. And I am going to put the link for your page so they can get those 7 hacks. But the real takeaway I'm listening to, Kurt, is think like a buyer.
Yes.
But before I even think like a buyer, think about who is my buyer.
Yes.
And for you, that was the karate moms. For all of us, depends what you're selling, it's going to be different. And if you're not clear who your buyer is, I do have free Facebook groups for sellers. I've got eBay Selling Basics, Nothing But Selling Basics, and eBay Stores, Nothing But eBay Stores if you're a store owner. And jump in there because different niches attract different buyers. And it's good to think that way, like who's going to be buying my product? And then what terms do they use to search for the product? Like Kurt said, his martial art is so specific, it would be rare they would be searching for that. So same thing with an item that you're selling. The appropriate keyword might be so specific that nobody would really use that, and a more general term is something that would be used. Like when I learned as far as for cowboy cowgirl stuff, it's not just cowboy and cowgirl, but Western style is a huge keyword phrase for that. So I'm definitely going to want to include that. You have been so helpful. We definitely have to do this again. I just
Yes.
want to thank you so much. Again, yay for Kurt Frankenberg, local businessman who learned how to think like his customer, know who his customer is, then interviews the customer, which we can do within Facebook groups, we can do with friends and relatives once we know who our ideal customer is, and then use those phrases that you discover from your ideal customer for your listings, for your social media, so that you get better search results from Google. And you're all going to go over and grab Kurt's tips. Kurt, thank you
Hey.
so, so much. It's been a pleasure.